Starseed from Gaia.
Tonight we open with triumph and hush, a ceremonial hush that vibrates like harp strings across your chest. You have passed. Breathe this in as a declaration and a benediction. The long test has closed and the debrief begins. Feel the relief like warm light where a scar used to ache. Feel the gravity lift as if an old cloak of obligation slides from your shoulders. This is not rhetoric, it is an archival ceremony, an honoring of fidelity, endurance, and faithful return. We speak as the Arcturian Council with both professors' clarity and parents' tenderness. You completed the labyrinth, you threaded the needle, you kept your vow under pressure. Let your breath be the bridge between the old strain and the new tide. Inhale acceptance. Exhale the last of doubt. Listen, the atmosphere around you is rearranging to hold what you carried through the trial. There will be a reveal, precise, gentle, exhaustive. Tonight, we will tell you what was tested, how you passed, what is now declassified in your field, and the practical activations that will help you live these upgrades. Anchor yourself in the body. Feel the earth under your feet. Allow the crystalline current to tone your bones. You are being seen, cataloged, and celebrated in the halls beyond sight. This first saying is both curtain and key. The test is closed. The telling begins. What was the test? Listen close as we map its architecture. It was multi-layered, personal, ancestral, planetary, karmic, each layer a curriculum of refinement. The personal layer tested your willingness to stay when exile whispered freedom and to leave when comfort whispered stagnation. It measured your capacity to choose presence over pleasing, to speak truth without weaponizing it, to hold softness while being accountable. The ancestral layer required that you unwrap inherited scripts, feel the lineage grief, and return gifts to those who could not use them, not to run from family but to reorder the shelf of obligation into offerings. The planetary layer involved being a stabilizer while storms of density move through human systems. Sometimes the test asked you to be a still point in someone else's maelstrom. The karmic layer reviewed agreements made in councils before incarnation. Were lessons learned, debts balanced, vows honored? None of this was punitive. It was catalytic, designed to refine resonance, reclaim sovereignty, and verify service readiness. The architecture was exacting because your eventual mission requires instruments that hold high frequency without cracking. Every trial was a training ground for the privileges now conferred. You did not merely survive the test, you graduated from the curriculum it staged. Proof that you passed will not be one thing but a constellation of recognitions you can feel and observe. Sudden ease replacing a long thought struggle. Repetitive synchronicities that land like confirmations. Relationships rearranging so that those who remain match your new timber. Resources appearing in unlikely streams. An inner compass that no longer argues with truth. You may find yourself waking from a dream with a map and then discovering the map correlates with a conversation later that day. You may notice previously locked doors opening without effort, or people from different timelines crossing into your orbit with permissions you had not requested but somehow earned. Energetically, there will be a steadier field around your heart and head, fewer shocks, less static, more clarity about which calls are yours to answer. Physically, you might recognize small shifts. Sleep that integrates downloads, appetite changes as your body recalibrates to new frequencies, or a surge of creativity that arrives fully formed. None of these are proof in isolation. Their pattern together is the signal. When you can tell the narrative of change without apologizing, when your inner authority no longer seeks external proof, you have passed. Hold these signs as confirmation, not as new idols. They are evidence that source and allied councils registered your fidelity and returned a stamped credential into your field. Now the record's open. Picture an archive made of light and glass, rows of crystalline ledgers, each one humming with reclaimed data. The debrief is a procession of recognition. Achievements are logged with nuance, not simply lesson completed but also the energetic currency earned, the compassion accrued, and the ways your presence now shifts probability. Soul contracts are being reviewed and, where justified, amended clauses rephrased to allow greater autonomy. Old punitive contingencies removed. New permissions inserted for work that must now be undertaken. Source and council hands do not rewrite your essence. They recalibrate the terms under which you enact that essence, a legalese of the soul updated by benevolence. You will experience this as a sense of clearance, permissions to receive support, permission to decline old roles without guilt, permission to ask for resources without apologetic diminishment, certain locked files, recordings of past administrations, and mission briefs are being unlocked for your review. You are invited to witness your own dossier in ways that empower rather than re-traumatize. This debrief is both audit and celebration. The ledger balances in your favor, and honors are bestowed that match the work you did in shadows and daylight alike. What is unlocked within you now is vast and intimate. Inner codes hum awake, crystalline. Remembering begins to re-pattern memory into resources instead of wounds. Strands of intuition uncoil and connect like filamentary bridges. Access to frequency libraries, vast inner repositories of craft and skill becomes available for consultation. Imagine hearing a harp chord and being shown, in a flash, how to translate that chord into a daily practice or a healing technique. Imagine DNA not as a prescription but as a tonal archive that responds to light language activation. You will feel deeper intuitive calibration. Choices are recognized before they must be argued over. Recognition of soul signatures becomes faster and cleaner, and dormant aptitudes, whether in healing, teaching, or creative diplomacy, lift to the surface like seeds sprouting at the first rain. These inner unlockings are not mystical magic that removes effort. They are the return of competence. They'll come as downloads, as sudden recollections, and as a sense of inner equipment you once had and now hold again. Note: these images are metaphorical. They are the language source uses to make potency accessible to human imagination, not medical claims. Use them as signposts for integration. Journal the impressions, test them in small ways, and allow time for embodiment. Outer permissions follow inner readiness. New timelines, junctures of reality where different outcomes are now possible, open for you to step into. These timelines are not accidental. They correspond to capacities you have proven in the test. Expect changes in relational geometry. Collaborators who resonate arrive with invitations rather than demands. Career doors open not by desperation but by magnetism. Housing and community shifts become facilitated by alignments rather than forced moves. You will find permission to claim resources that previously felt out of reach, not as entitlement but as rightful support for the work you are now authorized to carry. Contracts, whether literal or energetic, will appear with clear terms and healthier reciprocity. This is the universe offering new scaffolding calibrated to your enhanced frequency. Be prepared. Outer change requires inner steadiness. Do not assume every opportunity is service-aligned. Use discernment, yet be willing to accept help that honors your sovereignty. These outer permissions are the world rearranging to meet the you who has been refined. And they will often come with gentle ease rather than struggle, a sign that the cosmic ledger favors you. To receive the full reveal, practice 3 simple, immediate acts. Breathe into the archive, listen with the field, and record without judgment. Breathe. Sit in a comfortable place. Place both hands over your heart and take 10 slow inhales and exhales, each breath setting the intention. I receive with clarity. The breath is the tuning fork that brings your nervous system into cadence with the downloads. Listen with the field. Shift from linear mind to receptive body. Ask a succinct question, what is next? And wait for sensation, image, or phrase to appear. Do not demand theatrical visions. Honor subtlety. Record without judgment. Have a journal or voice recorder nearby and capture whatever arises. The act of recording translates ephemeral impressions into embodied assets. Additionally, ground yourself after these exercises. Touch soil, drink water, and move after receiving to integrate the codes into lower chakras. A brief ritual of acknowledgement, lighting a small candle, speaking aloud a line of gratitude, or placing a token on your altar further anchors the debrief. These practices are simple but exacting. Consistency turns revelation into lived reality. There are warnings and boundaries we tenderly place before you. Not all who witness your shift will understand, and some may seek to test you anew out of fear, jealousy, or confusion. Expect friction from misaligned systems, people, institutions, or technologies that benefit from the old version of you. You passed, you are witnessed, and you are now authorized to carry what you have earned. Repeat this mantra aloud with intention. Feel it vibrate the chest and the bones. I remember, I rise. Let it be a blade that severs old doubt and a banner that signals your return. Say it now. I remember, I rise. Hold this truth in your throat, and in your field, you are reissued, recognized, and released into service.